Coach Barrick here, Equity Podcast, where we help people be healthy, fit, and have fun doing it. New Year's coming up. A lot of people start thinking about goals. We're going to talk about goal setting. We talked about goal setting a little bit last year before the new year, and we try to do this every year. And let's break it down. First thing, when we're setting goals, we want SMART goals, right? It's almost cliche now, but there's a reason that things become cliched. It's because they work, right? So we want them to be specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, and time bound. When we're vague with our goals, it's very vague on what it is, and it's hard to get to something like that. You have the Cheshire Cat quote. Alice asks, which direction do I go? And the Cheshire Cat asks, well, where do you want to go? And she says, it doesn't matter. And his response was, well, then it doesn't matter. We need somewhere, we need a beacon to give us direction on where we want to be. Yes, we want to be healthy and fit. That's the overarching goal. But what are some specific goals that are going to help us get there? So setting those SMART goals. The next one is, yes, we want those SMART goals, but for professional athletes, they're for football, for example, everybody's goal is to win the Super Bowl. Every single team, that's their goal. Only one can do that. So having a goal is not the distinguisher. Having a goal isn't going to make you successful. What we need to do is we need to set up process goals. We need to set up actions that are going to help us get to that goal. What are the things we're going to do consistently on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis that are going to help us reach those SMART goals? Right? Just setting the goal is fine, but if we don't understand what we're going to do in order to get there, we're not going to be able to get there. And we might not know the specifics, but we can, find somebody that can help us get there, right? That can be part of the process. Find somebody who can help me get there. The last part is we want to understand why we want these goals, right? If it's just some arbitrary, if it's coming from something else, because this is what everybody else has, that's not a great goal. We need to really understand why we want this thing. Because when it gets hard, and it's going to get hard, it's going to be much easier to do that thing. Right? There's the story of the 3 bricklayers. So this guy's walking down the street, he sees one person laying bricks, and he asks, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm laying bricks. And he's miserable, and he's not happy. He's just drudging away. The next person, he walks by, and he looks a little more lively. He's like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, I'm building a wall. Still laying bricks, doing the same thing, but he's building a wall. It's like, oh, okay. Seems, just come in here, I build walls every day. And then the last person walks by, doing the same thing. The guy asks, hey, what are you doing? It's like, with pride, with enthusiasm. He's like, I'm building a cathedral. All 3 of them are doing exactly the same thing, but they all have a different purpose. They're all telling themselves a different story. And when we have a purpose, when we have an understanding of why we're doing something, it changes our outlook on doing that thing. Going into a cold gym, working out early in the morning sucks. But when you understand that you're doing this so that you can carry your daughter up the steps, so that you can go mountain biking, so that you can travel the world in your 80s, it makes it a lot easier and you enjoy it. So we want to make sure that we understand that why. Then we want to make sure that we spend some time actually, like doing all of that, you should spend some time thinking about it. Like, hey, what do I really want? Why do I really want that? Doing all this thing is going to take some time just to think. Right? Spend some time alone thinking about what you want and why you want it. And what are the actions to get you there, right? So do all those things, but you need to spend some time alone. A piece of paper, maybe with your spouse. We'll get a little bit into that. And then finally, you need to write it. You need to write it down. And then it needs to be somewhere that you can constantly look at it. If you just have it in a Google Doc somewhere that you never look at, what good is that? You're going to forget about it by February. Have it printed out, have it written down somewhere so you can constantly see it to remind you of it. So I have a goal setting worksheet that I use, and we sent it out. I sent it out last year. I shared it with everybody last year, and I'll share it again so you guys can use it. And there's 3 boxes: goals, why, and actions. Now, on top of that, everybody's life, it isn't just, work and the gym, right? Obviously, we want to set goals in the gym. We talk about that a lot, but we have other parts of our life that we want to make progress in. So this worksheet breaks it down into 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. And then there's one for some final questions. Right, and I kind of stole these 7 things from these 7 areas from the One Thing, Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. I like Jay Papasan a lot. Gary's fine, but Jay I like. He does some good stuff. I stole it from them. So we're going to have goals, we're going to have why, and we're going to have actions for these different areas. So the first one, I think, is the easiest one, because this is, why we're here. It's physical health. What are my goals this year? And what am I trying to do, right? Then we have personal life, right? So these are, what skills do you want to play? Any sports? You want to learn a language, learn to play golf, any creative endeavors, right? You want to paint or whatever. What is the things that you're doing for me time? What are those things, and what do you want to do more of, right? The next one is key relationships, right? So, hey, with your significant other, what do you want to do better there? What are your goals there? With your children, what do you want to add to that relationship? What do you want to make sure you're doing? What are your goals there? Extended family, friendships. Who do you want to spend more time with? Who do you want to spend less time with? Then we have financial. Hey, is our financial on track? Do we want to get rid of debt? Do we want to invest more? What are the things that we want to do? Do we want to go on a vacation? Do we want to buy a house? Do we want to buy a car? Goals for your job. Do I like it? Do I want to do something else? How can I get that promotion? Spiritual / mindset, right? What do you want to start being more consistent going to church? Do you want to start doing some meditating? Do you want to start doing some journaling? Do you have a business or a side hustle? That's probably the one that's kind of a little more on the fence. Depends on who the person is, but hey, business or side hustle on top of that. And then we just have some final questions to kind of round out the year. So I try to do this every year. Chris and I have been doing it for, I think, 5 years now. We'll kind of do a couples thing where we do it and we talk about it, and we'll spend some time for our own stuff as well. I think I posted mine the one that I did for 2024. I posted that, and I'll post this for you guys to download and use if you like. So wrapping that all up, we want SMART goals, we want process goals, and we want to understand why we want these things. We want to make sure that we spend some actual time thinking about it. We want to make sure that we write it down and put it somewhere where we can see it. And also, we don't want to think about this in just the physical side, just the health side. We want to think about our whole life, the different parts of our life. Because all of those should be important to us, and we want to keep growing, keep getting better. Hope this helps. If you think this might help somebody, please share it with them. We want more happy, healthy people in the world. Thank you. Cheers.